All right, let's talk about ClaimMD. If you're a developer and you've ever wondered how doctors actually get paid in our ridiculously complicated healthcare system, then you're in the right place. This one's for you.
So let me just start by asking you this. What if a single typo, just one tiny little error in a line of data, could cost a hospital $10,000? I know it sounds crazy, but this isn't a hypothetical. In medical billing, this kind of thing happens all day, every day.
Here's how it all goes down. A patient comes in, gets the care they need, everything's great. The hospital system then automatically generates a claim to get paid. But somewhere in that claim, there's a tiny mistake. Maybe a diagnosis code is off by 1 digit. The insurance company's system sees it, rejects it instantly, and boom, that's it. The hospital's revenue is now stuck, all because of one preventable little error.
So, how do we fix this billion-dollar typo problem? Well, that's what we're going to break down. We're going to start with what I call healthcare's digital post office. Then we'll decode the ClaimMD API. We'll walk through how to send a claim, design a system that can actually run in production, and then we'll take a quick peek at the future.
So first up, let's talk about the solution to all this chaos. You can think of it like a very specialized post office, built just for the wild world of healthcare.
And this digital post office has a name, a medical claims clearinghouse. It's basically a middleman. It sits right in between the doctor's office and the hundreds of different insurance companies they have to deal with. It becomes the central hub in a system that would otherwise be complete and total chaos.
You know, you can really think of this as a translation problem. On one side, you've got the doctor system, speaking in modern formats. But on the other side, the insurance company only understands this rigid, frankly ancient format called ASC X12. The clearinghouse, as you can see right here, is the universal translator. It takes nice, clean, developer-friendly JSON and turns it into the messy language that the payers require.
And this right here really shows you the difference it makes. The before picture, that's you, as a developer, trying to connect to dozens of different insurance websites, each with its own bizarre set of rules. It's a nightmare. Now look at the after. One single API connection. The clearinghouse scrubs the claims. It cleans them up, finds errors, and standardizes everything. It turns an impossible job into a totally manageable one.
Okay, so let's zoom in on a specific clearinghouse that's super popular with developers, and that's ClaimMD. Let's look at the tools it gives you in its API toolkit.
The ClaimMD API basically gives you superpowers. First, obviously, you can submit the claim itself. But here's a big one. You can check a patient's insurance eligibility before they even show up, which prevents so many rejections. When the insurance company finally pays, you can automatically process that payment info. And of course, you can track the status of a claim every step of the way.
But before you do any of that, you gotta authenticate. In the ClaimMD world, your API key is called the account key. And as it says right there, this is a secret. You have to treat it like a password. It should never, ever, ever be on your front-end app. It lives on your server and you guard it with your life.
And this gets to the very heart of why developers love services like ClaimMD. See that format on the bottom, ASC X12? It is a nightmare. It is horrible to work with. So what ClaimMD does is it builds a shield. It lets you work in clean, beautiful JSON. You send them the easy stuff, and they do the hard, painful work of converting it for the insurance companies.
Okay, that's enough theory. Let's get practical. Let's actually walk through how we get a claim from our app all the way to the insurance company.
So here's the entire journey. It starts on the front end, where our user enters the billing info. That data goes to your back end, which securely attaches your secret account key and builds the JSON. You fire that off to ClaimMD, which does its magic, validating, converting, and sends it to the payer. Then the response, whether it's a payment or a rejection, flows all the way back through that same channel.
So let's pretend we're going to send one right now. The main endpoint you're going to be hitting for this is /upload/. You're going to send it a post request with all your claim data. Now, let's look at the actual JSON. There are two fields here that are absolutely critical for you to understand. First, remote-GID. Think of this as your own internal tracking ID. When ClaimMD sends you an update later, this is how you'll match it to the right record in your own database. It is essential. Second, diag pointers. This little array is how you prove that a procedure was medically necessary. It connects the service you provided directly to the patient's diagnosis. Get this wrong, and you're getting a rejection guaranteed.
And of course, things are going to go wrong, but a good API gives you useful error messages. If you see invalid diagnosis code, you know where to look. Missing modifier means you forgot a piece of billing logic. And this last one, subscriber not found,
That is the perfect example of why you should have used the eligibility API before you ever sent the claim. It prevents failures before they happen.
All right, so a single API call isn't too bad. But how do you build a real, robust, production-level application around this? Let's talk architecture.
First off, it's good to know ClaimMD isn't the only player in the game. You've got giants like Availity and AI-focused platforms like Waystar. As you can see, they each have their own strengths. ClaimMD's sweet spot is really for developers and businesses that want direct, no-nonsense API access with simple, pay-as-you-go pricing. Now pay close attention here, because this is how you build a system that works in the real world. Notice the separation of duties. The front end never touches the API key. It only ever talks to your own back end. Your back end handles submitting the claim. But the real key is step 3, the background worker. This is a separate process that's constantly pulling ClaimMD for updates. This asynchronous design is crucial. It means your main app isn't just sitting around waiting, and your database is always up to date.
So we've talked a lot about how things work today. But where is all this technology headed? Let's talk about the future.
The future is all about being proactive instead of reactive. Imagine AI that doesn't just find errors, but actually predicts a denial before you even send the claim. Imagine getting rid of those polling loops and instead using real-time webhooks. And new standards like FHIR are finally promising to bridge the gap between clinical data and billing data. It's all moving towards a world of complete end-to-end transparency.
All right, let's do a lightning-fast recap. Number 1, healthcare billing is a mess. Clearinghouses are the API gateways that fix it. Number 2, your account key is a secret, and remote_CHIG is your best friend for tracking. 3, you upload claims, then you pull for updates. And 4, always build a secure architecture that keeps your keys on the back end.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty mind-bending question. We've spent all this time talking about fixing errors. But what if AI could just prevent them altogether? What if a system could learn every single insurance company's secret unwritten rules and just automatically build a perfect claim every single time? A claim with a 0% rejection rate. That's not science fiction.